Hi everyone! So it's time to find out what books I'm going to be reading next. As usual, I'm announcing my next 5, and this time I have chosen a theme of travel. Given what's happening in the world at the moment, we can't travel, and I'm not one to actually go travelling abroad. I've never really had an interest to do that. But also, I'm a country mouse. I like to stay where I am. I like to travel around the England and such. So I'm not that adventurous, but I thought, can I be adventurous through literature instead? So I went to my bookshelves and I found actually 10 books where I could do this. 5 of them were more modern literature and 5 of them was classics. I decided to do the modern literature ones first and perhaps do the 5 classic ones straight after, or maybe have a break and then go to those 5. But what do you guys want? Do you want to see the 5 travelling straight off, or do you of classics, or are you happy to have a break and then see what those are? I'll leave it up to you. You'll leave me a comment, let me know. So these 5 is where I'm starting in England and I'm going around the world to various different countries, but also different times as well. So let's start off with the first one. So the first one is Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I hope I've said his surname right. I completely fluffed it up before. I just tried to film this and completely fluffed it up, so I've started again. But this is, from what I understand, this is actually the first book in a series. I got this in Bath a couple of years ago when I was there with my sister. Found this really nice little bookshop and I bought it on a whim, and I've seen other ones with the exact same cover but different colours. So like, it's a red, it's a purple, there's a green one, and I think an orange one. So it's a book series, and it says on the back, "This is London as you've never seen it before, a city of wonders and terrors, a city of ancient secrets which is haunted by its past, a city where you are never far from magic, a city that Peter Grant will help you discover. My name is Peter Grant, and I used to be a probationary constable in that mighty army for justice known to all right-thinking people as the Metropolitan Police Service, and to everyone else as the Filth. My story really started when I tried to take a witness statement for a man who was already dead." So it's kind of a fantasy-esque story, but I don't know anything other than what is on the back of this book that I've just read to you. So yeah. Let's see what happens in the Rivers of London. Right, then we're going to go travelling to France, 18th century France to be exact, with Perfume, the Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind. I hope I've pronounced the surname right. I wasn't sure exactly how it was pronounced, but if I've got it wrong, please let me know. So, in 18th century France, there lived a man who was one of the most gifted and abominable personages in the era, known for no lack of gift of... I cannot speak today. I am so sorry. Gifted and abominable personages in an era that knew no lack of gifted and abominable personages. It's the fact that this sentence has got the same words twice and they're both directly above each other, so I thought I was reading the same line twice, but I'm not. Good to know. Right, let's carry on with this badly written synopsis. His name is Jean-Baptiste Geneville. I always mess up with surnames and such. I'm really bad. And if his name has been forgotten today, it's certainly not because he fell short of those most famous blackguards when it comes to arrogance, misanthropy, immorality, and most succinctly, wickedness, but because his gifts and his sole ambition was restricted to a domain that leaves no traces in history, to the fleeting realm of scent. So he's a guy who basically decides that he wants to capture the smell of people right before they die, because there's something magical about it. So he starts killing people to collect their scents. I know, weird, but it's not a classic, but it is deemed a kind of classic, and I'm quite interested to see how it goes. So that's Perfume, the story of a murder in France. Now, the next one is the one where you could go, well, technically you're not going around the world the correct way. If you're going London all the way around, you know, that way. Because the next one, I'm classing as Spanish because it is a Spanish novel, but it's actually implied to be set in Colombia, though it's never specifically stated where it's set. So because it's not specifically stated where it's set, I'm going to class it as Spain because it's Spanish. So I've gone London to France to Spain. And that is Love in a Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Now, about 2 years ago, actually, it was the same time I bought Rivers of London. I bought this book in Bath when I was there with my sister. And at the time, I was saying how I really wanted to read more international authors and such. And this book had always been kind of present, as it were, on a table or something, Waterstones, whenever I look around, like international authors and everything. So I was like, I should get it. And it was like ridiculous, like £2 or something in the shop that we were in. So I decided to pick up, and now I'm going to read it. And given what's going on at the moment, there's so many times when I've heard people say, oh my God, people should write a book that's called Love in the Time of Corona. And I'm like, oh, crying out loud. But yes, obviously referencing this book. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So the description is a synopsis. 51 years, 9 months and 4 days have passed since Femina Daza, again, I apologise for completely butchering these surnames, rebuffed helpless romantic Florentino Azaria's impassioned advances and married Dr. Giovero Urbino instead. I feel really horrible that I'm butchering all of these names. But this is the thing. I need to be more, more knowledgeable in these kind of things. During that half century, Florentino has fallen into the arms of many delighted women, but has loved none but Femina. Having sworn his eternal love to her, he lives for the day when he can court her again. When Femina's husband is killed trying to retrieve his pet parrot from a mango tree, Florentino seizes his chance to declare his enduring love. But can young love find new life in the twilight of their lives? I like the concept of a twilight of your lives kind of love story, because it's kind of a section that people don't really write about. It's either you fall in love when you're really young, or you're in, like your 20s or 30s. You don't have any kind of love stories for later on in life. So I'm quite happy and intrigued to read that. So we've gone London to France, or Paris technically. London, Paris, Spain. I'm classing as Spain, even though it's kind of Colombia, but it's not Colombia because it's never stated. But there we go. I'm classing it as Spain. And now we're going to the Netherlands to The Girl with the Pearl Earring. Now, yeah, this is going to be interesting because I really love the film that was made, but I've never read the book, and this was part of my Christmas book haul, so I thought I would give it a read. So, those eyes are fixed on someone, but who? What is she thinking as she stares out from one of the world's best-loved paintings? Johannes Vermeer can spot exceptional beauty. When seven girl Greek catches his eyes, she soon becomes both student and muse. But then he gives her his wife's pearl earring to wear for a portrait, and scandal erupts that could threaten Greek's future. Vivid, captivating, and much emulated, Girl with a Pearl Earring is a timeless modern classic and an international bestseller, now with a new introduction by the author. So yeah, I want to give that a go. The painting that Vermeer actually painted, which is here on the cover, is one of my favourite paintings ever. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to read Girl with Pearl Earring. And finally, I'm jumping from the Netherlands around to America to end with a story that I have adored. I have loved the film ever since I was a teenager, and I have to visit this part of America, 1930s America to be exact. And I want to go eat some fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, written by Fanny Flagg. The film, I had watched it for the first time in ages, like a year or two ago, and so I automatically just went on Amazon and bought the book, and it was sat on my bookshelf, and I haven't gotten around to it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to read it. I want to read the story of Idgie and Ruth. And the synopsis is, the day Idgie Threadgood and Ruth Jameson opened the Whistle Stop Cafe, the town took a turn for the better. It was the Depression, and that cafe was a home from home for many of us. You could get eggs, grits, bacon, ham, coffee, and a smile for 25 cents. Ruth was just the sweetest girl that you ever met, and Idgie, she was a character all right. You never saw anyone so headstrong, but how anyone could think that she murdered that man is beyond me. Fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe is a mouth-watering tale of love, laughter, and mystery. It will lift your spirits, and above all, it will remind you of the secret of life. Friends. Best friends. So there we go. Those are my next 5 reads, and I apologise for butchering names and such, but hopefully by the end of my travelling, as I said, I haven't travelled, so, it's my own lack of knowledge about the way different countries pronounce different names, but hopefully this will help me learn a few things. So there we go. So coming up next is going to be reviews of Rivers of London, Perfume, Love in a Time of Cholera, Girl with a Pearl Earring, and the Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. I'm really excited to read these, especially Fried Green Tomatoes. But of course, as I said, I'm starting with London, so my next book review will be Rivers of London. And I will be back with my thoughts on that once I finish reading. All right, guys. Bye.